does it make you feel that this season 2 is one of the more expected?
Yeah. It's slightly scary in a lot of ways because people loved the show so much. So you have that responsibility to, do your absolute best and try and make it the greatest thing ever. So there is slight pressure, but there's also, in a way, it eases the pressure a lot because we have a fan base and we have people who love it and love the show for what it is, which is this kind of wacky mix of comedy and drama and 80s and 70s and like 2000, it's 2019, so it's people know what the show is now, so we're not trying to get that across. We can kind of settle into it and just focus on the character storylines and the great narratives that Laurie has given us.
About your character, what are the little things that are gonna change, or if you have a bigger arc, because you have a quite big part in the story.
Yeah, I love Aimee so much because she's kind of her own little world. She's very much that person that wants to belong somewhere, but I think she doesn't give herself enough credit. If actually she's such an individual, and she doesn't explore that. But this season, you really see her kind of go through this huge tectonic shift inside of her because she goes through a really traumatic experience. So it's a completely different side to Aimee. So that's going to be really interesting because, you want to retain that silly, kind of joyful person that she is, but shifting into this very new stage of her life where she doesn't really know how to operate in the world because of this thing that's happened to her. So, yeah.
How does it make you feel, this new fame, actually? Do you get recognized in the street? People stop you and ask for, what's going to happen to Aimee?
Yeah.
It has happened to you.
Yeah, it does happen quite a lot. And it was very weird at first, and I was saying this quite a lot, because we've got the same name, Aimee and Aimee. I'm always like, oh gosh, which Aimee? But it is so lovely, because most of the time it's just people really wanting to tell you how much they love the show, and that's really nice. But I think at first it's weird, because sometimes you just want to pop out with wet hair and pyjamas on to grab some Oatly milk, which is my favourite milk, which I always bang on about. But yeah, and I do feel a little bit more like I have to be on guard a little bit more these days and not kind of walk out with a bird's nest on the back of my head and toothpaste around my mouth. But yeah.
Talking about the story, overall it was quite graphic, explicit about sex, which was very unusual for a TV series. How did it make it feel at the very beginning? Now, obviously, you're more confident, but how was for you at the very beginning?
Well, I got the sides through for Lily. So I auditioned for Lily originally, and I saw all this stuff like, I want to have sex with you, will you have sex with me? And some of the lines, I was like, whoa! And I thought it was hilarious, but it kind of, it made me a little bit scared because I thought, oh gosh, this is quite intense. But then when I got the full episodes through and I could see the context and I could see how brilliant the writing was and how it was actually really trying to help. It's trying to help. It's doing something. It's giving something to the world rather than it just being boobs. It's not gratuitous, and so it was kind of nerve-wracking, but at the same time I could see the bigger picture and I could see how needed it was, so that kind of made me feel confident.
Did you have a school? Because I know in England it's a mandatory to have sex education at school. How was it for you, the whole experience?
Oh, it was so bad. So bad. It was just really boring, and it was just biology, and it was a teacher getting really sweaty and nervous, being like, I don't know. Like, he didn't want to answer certain questions that we had, and it was just awkward. And then we had one lady who came in to teach us how to put a condom on a banana, and she was great. And I thought, oh, it would be brilliant if she came like every week to have a chat with us. But that was just a one-off experience, and then it was like, bye. So I said to my little brother the other day, what's sex education like at school, because he's still at school, and he said it's just a video of a black and white video of a man chasing a woman around with a feather, and then they get into bed, And that was it. And he said that was the sex education class that we had. And I was like, God, this is poor. So I think that we just need to get a little bit better at that and prepare kids more for their sex lives.